So after covering 10 of the most disturbing hidden video game details in a recent video, I'm back again with more video game details that will make you feel very uncomfortable. As usual, if you think you know of a detail or Easter egg that I haven't covered before, then let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to check it out. And of course feature you in the credits of a future video. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with a detail that plays on my own childhood fears. When I was a kid, I was terrified of sharks. I mean, living in the UK meant that a face-to-face encounter with one was very unlikely, but that didn't stop me thinking up crazy scenarios where I could find myself one-on-one with a shark. One of these scenarios was finding a shark in a public swimming pool, which I know sounds crazy, but what can I say? I had a vivid imagination. Well, it seems that someone at Ubisoft may have had the same fear, as if you head to this location on the map in Far Cry 6, you can find this. So at this mansion, you can find a shark in a swimming pool. I mean, this entire island is kind of weird, with an underground torture dungeon found at the same spot. But when it comes to disturbing, for me personally, nothing beats a shark in a swimming pool. Now, despite being a game about brain-hungry zombies that you can mow down by the bucket load, World War Z isn't a particularly scary game. I mean, if I was in the same situation in real life, I would shit my pants. But from the comfort of my own home, it's almost relaxing shooting hundreds, if not thousands, of the undead. Though I'm not sure what that says about me. Saying that, there is a moment in the game that I did find pretty disturbing, and made me think that these mindless zombies may be zombies now, but they did used to be human. During the Moscow chapter, you have the opportunity to test some nerve gas on a group of zombies, and it goes exactly how you think it would.
What? The chamber was a makeshift testing lab before they all turned.
At least we know it works. A little bit of karma.
So, despite being dead, the nerve gas doesn't discriminate, and kills the zombies again. Later on in the same chapter, you once again have the chance to gas some zombies, but this time, something's different.
Somebody, activate the vents!
So, because these zombies are wearing hazmat suits, they aren't affected by the gas. I don't know why, but seeing zombies bashing on the glass, desperate to get to you, all the while only being protected by their suit, is pretty disturbing. Now, when you think of a fourth wall break, usually it's something funny. I mean, the best video game example that I can give is this scene from The Evil Within 2, which will never not make me laugh.
You coming with me or not?
I told you I wasn't going to leave this place. It's fucking evil out there.
That may be, but there's evil within, too.
Well, unlike The Evil Within 2, sometimes a look into the camera can be very disturbing, especially when it feels like the person in the game is talking to you. During Chapter 9 of Dead Space 2, you'll meet up with Nolan Stross, who perhaps understandably is feeling a little on edge. When Stross joins you on the lift, take a listen to what he says and where he looks.
Hey, you made it. He's staring at me, Isaac. Stross.
Through the holes in his head. Listen to me.
Stop staring at me! Stop it!
Relax!
Isaac, we have to get out of here.
So Stross will ramble about someone staring at him, and you'd be forgiven for thinking it was just the ramblings of a madman. The thing is, Stross then looks directly into the camera and at you, and tells you to stop staring at him. Like I said, most fourth wall breaks are funny, but this one definitely isn't. Now, I mentioned in the last disturbing details video that I hate being sick, but there is something that I hate even more than that. And that's being sick because I'm dizzy. I know how that sounds, but being spun around for too long is a surefire way to make me at the very least feel nauseous, and at the worst, well, I'll leave that up to your imagination. Well, it turns out that even super cool secret government operatives also don't like being spun around in a circle. As in Metal Gear Solid 3, if you spin Snake around, this will happen. I mean, if it can make the boss sick, I don't feel too bad. Now, I've said before that you kill a lot of people in The Last of Us 2, But let's face it, it's no different to loads of other games on the market. I think what makes The Last of Us 2 so unique is that it feels like you're killing a person and not just someone that you need to kill to trigger a checkpoint. What I mean by this is that some of the enemies in The Last of Us 2 will scream their friend's name after you gun them down. And of course, we've even seen dogs mourn their owners. But what about if you were the last person left alive, and having witnessed either Abby or Ellie slaughter your friends, you were forced to beg for your life? Well, here is what that may look like.
Hey, come closer. Fucking look me in the eye. Fucking relax. Yeah, you got me. Your turn's coming soon. You don't have to do this. All right, just don't, please don't. Please shut it. Oh, fuck. You really fucked me up, didn't you? Easy.
I mean, it would have been really cool if you decided to let them live and they came back later on in the story, or even in a random battle, but the fact that they beg for their life at all is pretty disturbing. Oh, and speaking of dogs that mourn owners, it turns out that The Last of Us 2 wasn't the first game to use man's best friend to make players feel bad. In Watch Dogs 2, you can find plenty of people enjoying a walk with their dog. However, if you shoot the owner, the dog will do this.
I'll catch you.
So the dog will lay next to its now deceased owner, which is really sad. Now, I don't know about you, but there is something really scary about an inanimate object moving ever so slightly that you're not sure if it even moved. It's that feeling of questioning yourself and then almost convincing yourself that you're just seeing things that makes it worse. Well, in Phasmophobia, you'll of course see a lot of spooky things. I mean, it's a game about hunting ghosts after all. The thing is, out of all the creepy things to see and do in Phasmophobia, a snowman might be the worst of the lot. During the Christmas version of the campsite map, if you stood next to this particular snowman for an admittedly long time, this would happen. So after a minute and a half of real world time, the snowman will eventually turn its head to look at you. Like I said, the speed at which the snowman turns its head really freaks me out. Because it's so slow, you're not sure if you're just imagining things. So one of the best things about Cyberpunk are the little stories that you can find scattered around Night City. Sometimes these stories aren't even connected to a mission, they're just there to make the game world feel alive. Ironically, one of the best examples of this can be found at the bottom of a river. At this location on the map, you can find an archived conversation between Susan Abernathy and Carter Smith. Reading the conversation, we can learn that Carter actually warned Susan about an attempted assassination, and as a thank you, Susan considers Carter a loose end who knows too much. Susan calls Carter a coward and even says that he'll end up begging for mercy, which is just cold when you think that Carter saved her life. Susan ends the conversation by telling Carter to jump. So at the bottom of the river, we can find the body of Carter Smith, who, fearing what Susan had in store for him, decided he would go out on his own terms. To make things even worse, and perhaps the most disturbing part of this whole situation, Carter contacted his mum for advice, but she was quick to say that he should be grateful to even have a job and just get on with it. Imagining how Carter must have felt in this moment, it's not hard to see why this is such a disturbing story. Now, much like World War Z that we talked about earlier, despite being full of zombies, Left 4 Dead 2 isn't particularly scary. But there is one discovery that I do find very disturbing. In the Last Stand campaign, you can find this.
Look out! We've got a boomer around here!
So it's a woman's body inside of a fridge. Now the reason I find this disturbing is wondering what led to her dying here. Was she hiding from zombies but was injured beforehand and died, or was she just too scared to leave the safety of the fridge? Like I said, shooting zombies from the comfort of your own home isn't a problem, but imagine actually being in that situation. What would you do? The final disturbing detail is an all-time favourite of mine. Zombie Army 4 is a fun game about shooting zombies, which seems to have been a theme in this video. Well, if you were to take a break and pause the game on the PlayStation, this would happen. So the controller will start speaking to you, begging you to come back. I mean, if you didn't know about this beforehand and heard this sound coming from another room, I'm guessing you would be pretty disturbed. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. If you're a fan of Easter eggs and secrets and hidden details in video games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.